Hi, I'm Julie, and you're watching Explain the Frame, Episode 2. In this episode, I'll walk you through our research on how to paint a fuller, bigger picture of health. You might think it would be easy to get the public to care about health as a social issue. After all, don't we all want to be healthy? It's true that health can be an attention-grabbing theme, but our culture's steady diet of quick tips for personal health makes it hard to talk about public health, or in other words, what it looks like for our society to be healthy and well. To learn more about how to navigate this tricky framing challenge, we've talked to thousands of Americans to learn what and how they think about different public health topics. Across the nation and across groups, we hear the same refrain on repeat: that people are healthy because of genetics, eating right, and exercising, or that people aren't healthy because they don't take care of themselves. Because so much of our health is shaped by our environments, this mental model is just incomplete. And when this individualistic way of thinking gets applied to certain groups that experience greater health burdens, it quickly leads to negative and inaccurate stereotypes. Yet, we found that people are also capable of thinking about health in more expansive ways. We've heard people reflect an understanding that health involves physical, financial, mental, and spiritual well-being, and that health problems can come from external factors beyond an individual's control. We've also found that with a little prompting, people can and do recognize that some groups have more health problems because of the way we arrange society and distribute resources. These broader, more systemic ways of thinking are the building blocks for understanding how policies shape our surroundings, and our surroundings shape our health. But while these productive ways of thinking are out there in public consciousness, they are not up there in terms of public attention. In individual interviews, these ideas come up later in the conversation, and people find them harder to explain or illustrate. So, if public thinking about health is like a jungle, it's overflowing with big, strong, well-tended, individualistic ideas about health. Now, there are also some tender shoots of systemic and ecological thinking, and these are the very ideas we want to flourish. So how can we help cultivate them? First, we can weed out invasive, individualistic ideas from our communications. Every time we restate them, we reinforce them in the public mind, and we don't need to reinforce something that's already overgrown in the jungle. We also need to make sure that the productive mental models get plenty of airtime and sunshine. We can do this by taking the time, every time, to explain what we mean by health, rather than taking it for granted that people get what we mean. Don't assume that describing something as a public health issue is sufficient to shift people's thinking. It isn't. Instead, express the concepts that make it a public health issue. Here's one example of what it might look like to explain what we mean by health. When we create and maintain thoughtfully designed neighborhoods, it's good for people's health and well-being. Here, we're already broadening the idea of health by saying health and well-being. And by connecting neighborhood design to health, we've introduced a social factor without using jargon. For instance, when people can walk, bike, or roll to get where they need to go, the higher levels of physical activity and lower levels of pollution are good for everyone's heart and lungs. Here, we start to paint a picture of how environments shape health by connecting to an external factor, to a health behavior, to a health outcome, and a health exposure. And when we encounter more of our neighbors out and about in bustling, thriving areas, it strengthens our sense of community. By mentioning the connection between neighborhood design and a social experience, we add a critical detail to the picture we're painting, that health involves relationships and community. We need to invest more in thoughtful neighborhood redesign so that everyone, not only the lucky or affluent few, can benefit from better physical, mental, and social well-being. Finally, we describe a solution that would lead to more even, more fair access to this vital condition for health. That's it for episode 2. Don't forget to check out the resources linked in the description of this video for more on painting a picture of health. Thanks for tuning in to Explain the Frame.